Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Welcome to my channel, whether you're new or you're coming back. Thank you for being here with me and let's get started right away. This is gonna be another one of those classic reads. We'll check out the energies of each of the twin collectives and then we'll get a response to an additional question that tarot will reveal, and then of course we'll see how the twins are feeling towards each other right now. And feeling is more in the conscious space, so you can treat it as what they're feeling on their heart. What are they thinking? Okay, we're starting with an oracle card and I'm gonna pull one for divine feminine swatching. First of all, this is the enchanted map oracle today. We have said embrace. So to me, this is like a 5 of Cups energy. This is also a period of recovery or rejuvenation after loss, after a hard battle, right? Like a lot of times when we see something like that, we think about sadness, we think about grief or mourning something that's gone, which could be the case, of course. But a lot of times it's also just being tired, being exhausted after either having to go on for too long and like on the edge at like your max capacity, or just being through something really tough in terms of some challenges and overcoming them, maybe even doing that for other people as well. So that's when the general idea right now, feminines, you do need to take care of yourselves. The embrace, the self-hug is actually showing. That's actually one of the known techniques for soothing, for working with anxiety. But yeah, if you don't have self-care tips or methods on top of your head or somewhere handy, this is the time to look them up or to ask around and get those. And I don't just mean for this specific period or this event that happened, but generally you should have it around so that when you are in this energy, you don't have to spend a lot more energy on trying to find out how to get out of it, you know? That's when you either need somebody to help you, like to give you a hand, right? Or to be your rock, or to have your back, or those tools need to be accessible to you so that you can turn to them easily and you know exactly what to do. And not like you have 10 different options and you're like, which one should I trust? No, those should be your known methods that work. For masculines, we have follow the leader. And this card is basically saying, like in the guidebook, it's basically the idea is that either there is a leader in your life or they're coming up that will be inspirational to you, somebody whose example you'd want to follow, right? Who will show certain clarity or shed some light onto what's going on in your life and where to go from here. Or it can be that somebody will be looking up to you as a leader and would want to follow you. So take it how it resonates for you, masculines. I would say in this particular case, I am sensing that you are the one probably even manifesting this leader into your life, because there are certain questions that you're asking where you don't have answers, where you're not sure what's next or why is this happening to me, something like that. And this is the time to get some help in a good way, right? When you see someone either in a similar position and they got their stuff together and you basically see that they have this good algorithm, or they have this strategy of how they approach this, how they treat it, how they grow from it, right? And you like it, and that's like, oh, give me some of that. Or you're just seeing how wise they are, you know, like there is some quality that you want more of that for yourself. Maybe they're more patient, maybe they conduct themselves better from emotional intelligence perspective, right? Maybe they're more successful in certain areas of their life. And it doesn't have to be finances, of course. And you're like, oh yes, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's move on to tarot. I picked up my Spellcaster tarot, which I haven't used for months. I've used it excessively while I was in Hawaii, and then I was like, yeah, that deck definitely needs to rest. But summer is over, and yeah, I had plenty of time, so I think I decided it's time. Because I love it so much. To me, it's quite a classic design, and what works better than classic? Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Speaking of classic, for twin flame reading. Yes, so I'm hearing a lot of telepathic communication going on. And twins, look at them, they're drinking from each other's cup in this card, in this deck. So I feel like they're actually doing that emotional support to each other energetically, and they're healing each other, like they're helping each other overcome something or heal from something. It's beautiful. It's funny, I'm also hearing for some of them it's to heal the pain that they've caused. But you know, it's 3D, our 3D may have caused the pain, our 5D is trying to help. I mean, even in, like, within the consciousness of one person, that happens, right? A person may do something wrong and may want to fix it or help out or whatever afterwards. But it makes even more sense, I think, between 5D and 3D reality. Because it's hard for us to get our minds around it, but it's actually what's going on between us and our twin energetically can be so much different than what is happening in reality. The Emperor, yes, twins are taking control of their life. They don't want to wait for somebody's graciousness, I'm getting. They don't want to be at the mercy of somebody making decisions for them, even if it's the twin, right? They're like, no, I'm creating my happiness by myself. And regardless of whether the twin goes along or not, something along those lines. It's a little rebellious, but I like it. With North Node in Aries and us being within the eclipse portal during this time, it all makes sense. Yeah, it's like finding your voice. It's like understanding that balanced way to use that Emperor energy, to use that Aries energy, to understand your needs and to go exactly for what they are, not for what looks good to somebody else or what would my twin say or friends and family or whoever. So for the feminines, we have 2 of Pentacles clarified by 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, and it comes to 10. Yeah, so the goal is getting to that abundance, is getting your life on track, I'm getting. Whatever that means for you. Again, it doesn't have to be finances. And when it says work, it doesn't have to be specifically going to your job, like doing your job 9 to 5 or something, right? It might as well be working on creating a home, right? Like maybe fixing up your place or reorganizing your space or finding hobbies, right? Or adopting some sort of wellness routine, right? It can be all kinds of things here. It's more about building yourself up, I would say, or building your life up. So it's in a space where you're happy, you're at least comfortable within it, you're content with it. The main card though is 2 of Pentacles here. So it's like one of the first things is to find that balance where it doesn't have to look like everybody else's life, not at all. And if people are saying like having 2 or 3 jobs is just too much, like you aren't gonna handle it, like it's not gonna last, don't listen to them and don't look at it that way just because they're saying that, just because you don't know people who have done it successfully, right? But this is for you to kind of think about it in a way where whichever you're adding to your list or whatever changes you're making, it's important to check that balance, right? To see if that's working for you. And if not, to take action sooner or later so that you don't get to this space again, right? Like this is a wake-up call, basically. This is like, okay, you know what? You can't do this anymore, right? Or you have to leave something behind, right? You need to change your life, right? And the energy is calling to be more strategic or conscious in that space. For masculines, wow. 4 of Swords clarified by 3 of Swords. And in this deck, 4 of Swords is pretty like exhausted energy. So we see certain synchronicities here, right, with the feminine. But also it's like, and that's also a synchronicity, you know, when you're in pain or you're exhausted, you need to recover, you need to heal. It can be heartache from what's been going on with the twin, of course. but it's also, or maybe for some I'm getting it's also because the progress hasn't been made as expected, right? Or certain decisions that were needed were not made, right? And now the masculines are facing the consequences of that. But what I'm gonna say is it's also coming around to them, to their conscious mind at this time, where they have time to kind of, or maybe they were made to go into that mode, right? To pause, to take a break, and to think what's been going on. Why, even if their life seems okay in the physical, it doesn't feel right. They don't feel good in it, right? They still feel heartbroken. They still feel a hole, that something is missing, right? And so they're coming back around with their conscious attention to see what that might be, right? And how they fix it. Additional question. Nine of Pentacles clarified by the Temperance. Ooh, this is like waiting for the union I'm getting. Yeah, the waiting energy, right? So advice for the waiting, right? While twin sign separation, right? So this is a single person's card. For, wow, I was just talking about 10 of Pentacles. Oh my God, you cannot make this up. 10 of Pentacles clarified by Knight of Cups. So this is building your life up. I was just talking about it. I'm not gonna go into that again, but basically the advice is take care of your own life, build it up, create the kingdom, work on your mission, make sure that you are the happiest person you know, right? And I don't just mean this as a label, but like, people are like jealous or envious or mad at you, like, how come you have so much energy and you can do all these things, or how come you're so happy, like every time I see you, this is just wrong, right? So get to that point, at least for yourself, right? You don't have to like ask people to upset you, because you know that there will always be, we have so much energy and light, there will always be people who will not take it well, just because from where they are, the space where they are energetically. But do it with love, do it out of love to yourself, to your twin, out of the idea of knowing that it's coming, that progress is there, that things are happening behind the scenes. And the best way for you to get closer to union is to focus on living your best life. For masculines, oh my God, 10 of Swords clarified by the Hierophant. Oof. So advice for masculines is, this is also kind of assuming the leadership role, taking the lead in the situation, not be a victim, right? Not be torn down by the circumstances or feel guilt and shame from how things have turned out, or feeling that there is no hope, any of those things, right? This is like about getting out and taking on control and understanding that it's all in your hands. Whether it's 10 of Swords or 10 of... You see like how amazing the synchronicity is. I mean, it is opposite, but it kind of is also the same, because it's a 10. It's end of the cycle. End of the cycle can look very different, right? For the same person, even within the same set of events. And it's your choice, Divine Masculines, how you want to play it. Even when you've been beaten down, even when you've seen failure, right? It's about how you take it and what lessons you learn from it. How you turn it into wisdom, how you turn it into something that you can then preach to others, you can share and help people with that, right? It's important to find that part of the story, that part of the experience, understand why we are here. Why was it necessary for us to see this? Feelings towards each other. So from feminines to masculines, we have the Sun with 9 of Wands. So I would just continue the topic of healing. To me, this is very much a healing energy. This is a very hopeful energy too. So the feminines see this light at the end of the tunnel. They believe in success with the masculine. In this deck, it's also a feminine figure with children. So they see this happy ending where they create the family, or you two create the family, and create your legacy together. There is still certain fear on the back, and it's coming more from the idea that this is just too good to be true, right? It feels so happy when you dive into that energy that sometimes it's scary, or you're scared that it will not last very long, or something like that, because our brain still keeps playing programs from people we know, from relationships we know, from movies and books we know that if it's kind of the idealistic picture, right, it's not usually lasting. From masculines, we have the Hangman, clarified by the Hangman. Double Hangman. But you know what? This is a good energy for masculines. It's one of those reflection and also recovery, right? This is like being suspended where the universe is basically taking away their ability to act towards the feminine right now. But this is done on purpose, not to make things worse and not to spoil something good, depending on where you are in your journey, right? This is needed for masculines to kind of process the feelings they have, the emotions, the information they have in mind. Even if they were excited to share it, you know, they wanted to kind of make things better in some way, right? This is still for them to sleep on it, to reflect why it's coming in this way, what does it mean, what does the feminine mean to them, right? And the communication will come in, but it's going to be in a more balanced and relaxed way, where there is an understanding that how do I say it? It's going to be more peaceful, more calm, and it's going to be more meaningful as well, because it's not just going to be emotions that a lot of times, especially for the masculines, is hard to put into words. It's gonna be a lot more conscious, where they will not just have that emotion pumping up, right? And for some of them, they're still pretty raw, pretty vulnerable, and like from all those painful points and cards that we've seen, it may not even end well, like that kind of a communication, right? But while they're in the Hangman zone, they're able to process, to reflect, and to come to that much more objective and wise viewing of the situation, and finding much better words for communication when that comes in. So that's what masculines I would say are working on, but the divine is actually putting them, like pushing them into that space. It's not even their choice, right? But that's what it is. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you again very, very soon.